So anyway, what we've come across here for our second GFI is a 3-wire home run multi-branch circuit. What we have is a 12-3 coming in on a in Romex. We have a black hot lead and we have a red hot lead. And black hot lead is picking up induction from the red that's brought with it all the way down the circuit jacket. By placing my fingers around this end, you notice that there's no induction. And that's because the electromagnetic field running down the red wire so close to the length, down the whole length of the black wire, is creating a false positive. And so this red wire here is the second circuit of the 14-3. And if you take this wire nut off very carefully, you will note that it's live. And what they're doing here is they're sharing this neutral wire. It allows us to cut down on the cost of labor, and see, we have 1/16.5. It allows us to cut down on the cost of labor because you don't have to pull 2 separate wires, and the cost of the copper. Obviously, you've cut back on, say, 100 feet of single strand of copper. So, needless to say, you will pick up 40 volts off the neutral to this hot wire. Other than that, there's not a threat of electrocution on this wire. You can go and shut off this other one. It's not a bad idea. So I'll go downstairs and shut off the dishwasher in this case, and I know that, of course, because I wired it. So I'll be right back. I've returned from shutting off the dishwasher. Now you note that there's no glow on that wire or the other wire. Alright. One thing you have to be careful of is the potential for 220 volts in this box due to the 2 legs of the panel. So you want to push that back. You won't be needing that. Just stick your fingers in there, pull her off. You want to roll your grounds out of the way, preferably first or before everything else, so that the rest of the wires that are pushed in the back of the box keep the grounds away from the back of your GFI. Now, the neutral wire, or the white wire, coming out of the dishwasher appliance is tied in with the neutral wire of the 12-3. These are both not GFI protected from this point. They head directly to the panel. So that will be the line side of the GFI. When we've tested it, this is the hot wire that comes from the panel. We'll just put a twist in them so that we know where they are. Again, now as a recap, we'll take our load side, the yellow strip, just remove the paper, because we are protecting other outlets downstream. It's really good. It saves you from putting a GFI at every location, which at I believe going hardware store rates are $14. So I mean, if you have 10 plugs down the kitchen countertop, it costs you 140 bucks. So anyway, again, I like to start with the wires I know are dead, which would be the load side. The green screw, the load side, you'll have to loosen the load terminals. They usually come tightened already. And again, we'll tighten them with a screwdriver just to ensure that they're tight. Okay. And then we will put the dead, or the load side black, on the load side of the GFI. And again, screwdriver tighten. On the line side, place the white coming out of the broke down pigtail where we wire nutted down the line side. Then I have about an 1/8 inch sticking out, so I just want to trim it down. There's no need to create more targets for the ground wires to come in contact with. So, then again, we will tighten it down with a flathead screwdriver. Then I'll place the GFI in a position so that I'm not crossing all the wires. There's no need to make a bigger mess out of this. Sometimes it helps to just tweak a little bend so that the hook leads under the screw. By hooking it like that, you lead under the screw a little bit, and it goes in there a little easier. Okay? Always try to stay comfortable, because you're usually safer if you're more comfortable. And you just tighten that down. Make sure that the ground wire stays under the screw. And you have that tight. Now start to position your ground on the left side. Push it back a little bit. You know, there's a few wires in this box, so, and then you'll roll your other hot. And again, I have an 1/8 inch sticking out. I'll just trim it back and place the ground wire under there. And we'll tighten the screw. Okay. Now you've attached everything for the GFI. And you just kind of limber up the wires a little bit, give them a little bend so that they kind of roll with the bend. Once you start a bend, when you push back, they'll actually follow that bend and fit in the hole nicely. Alright? I don't want to apply too much force, you know, enough to push it back. And I'm using a little extreme caution so that you're not hurting anything inside the box. Pinching the coating off the wires, or pinching the wires between, make sure there's none in between the screw and the screw hole, because it will pinch them and cause issues. Now, before you get it all the way in, there's a side of the GFI that's behind the plate. You can apply pressure there to straighten out the plug, so that when you screw it down, it rests with a more smooth, flat pitch. And if it's not in perfect again, after you get it screwed down, just screw it back out. And they have both reset. Here we have a GB plug tester with a GFI test button. And what this does is creates a false ground short. It allows you to push the button and hear the audible pop. You can simply reset it. You should test your GFIs once a month with the lower test button. When you press that button, the reset button should pop out and your receptacle should be dead with no glow. And you can reset it again. Now, press your plug tester in. You have two lights indicating correct wiring. When you press the button, it should trip. Again, you can reset such GFI and test it again. The GFI should protect outlets on the countertop. For instance, this outlet right here on the countertop to the left, when pressed, will trip the GFI upstream from it. And again, with this one here, should protect this outlet down here on the other side of the sink. You hear the audible click. You come down here, you'll notice that your reset button has come out, and you simply press it in. So now we have installed two GFCIs. Be careful and certain that you shut off your power and test your wires completely before attempting to install your own GFIs.